class, and welcome to week 2. I have a few tips and suggestions for you on how to improve in week 2 and a few things I'd like to just go over about the material. Things that I think that we could be doing a little bit better. For one, the discussion board. The discussion board needs to be kept within the thread. So when you're responding to my initial questions, please click on reply and type in your answer. You don't need to create a new thread. And actually, you guys won't be able to this next week. I set it up so that you can't create new threads. You'll just be able to respond to mine. So please be mindful of that when you go to respond to the questions. Also for the discussion board, you're going to need to lengthen your responses. It's the only assignment that you guys have for the week if you're in that group. So your responses need to be very well thought out, and they need to be in well-developed paragraphs. You're going to need to write more than, let's say, 8 to 10 sentences. You're going to need to really do nice, well-developed paragraph there. So please avoid doing 2 to 3 sentence answers. That's not going to be enough. You really need to show that you're linking the material to the course, that you're using your web links, and that you're using your textbook. So if you have a chance, please cite textbook pages that you're using to gather your information. And also make sure that you're referencing the web links. They're up there for a reason. Please watch them, look over them, and make sure that you're incorporating those into your answer for the discussion board. So for those of you that are going to be doing it new this week, these are some tips that are going to help you do it better. And for the group that just finished doing the discussion board, you'll be able to get a chance to improve upon your discussion board in week 3. Also, the chapter for this week, week 2, is up online already. You guys can go there and grab it. It's in the Blackboard course content. And I understand that the textbook is not yet into the bookstore. I've resubmitted my order for that textbook. I don't know what happened with why it's not in or why it wasn't available when you guys went. I apologize for that. But please, it's up on Blackboard. There's no excuses that you guys can't get it. It's there. Please use it. Reminder that we have a WIMBA class on Thursday of this coming week at 7:30. And in your weekly planner or in your syllabus here, it tells you what we're going to be doing this week in the WIMBA session. For week 2, it tells you what we're going to be doing. That in your WIMBA class, you need to be prepared to discuss the following: questions about the course, the article Ottomans in Europe. You're all going to need to read this article and then come to class, and I'm going to give you some questions, and we're going to discuss what that article means in relation to the course material. And then finally, you're going to need to have, by WIMBA time, September 8th, signed into VoiceThread and left a practice response. Last week I sent all of you a email stating what your VoiceThread username and password was. We're going to be doing VoiceThread in week 3. So it's going to be important that in this week that you test out VoiceThread and you know how it works. So please make sure you give yourself some time to do that. Excuse me. Also in week 2 here, you guys have your same thing that you had last week. You have the discussion board, you have the primary source paper, then you have the quiz. The routine should become familiar to you by, let's say, week 3, that every other week you're doing either discussion or you're doing voice or you're doing the primary source paper. The material that we're going to cover this week are the Ottomans, which they're in present-day Turkey, and the Mughals, and they are over in India. We're going to be studying both regions this time, and it's the same time period that we were just studying in Europe. It's about 1400s through, well, let's say 1300s through 1500s in this area. But the one unique feature about both of these empires is that they're both Muslim empires, and there's some really fascinating web clips, YouTube clips from a PBS series called Islam Empire of Faith about the Ottoman Empire, and I really suggest that you try to watch those when you have some time, or leave yourself some time to watch those. They are really fascinating and give you a good overview of what the Ottoman Empire was like during this time period. And then the second part of the week this week in your reading will be about the Indian Empire of the Mughals. And this is the dynasty that brings you the Taj Mahal. So it's a really devastating love story that is all about how the Taj Mahal got constructed, and it's this burial ground for Shah Jahan's wife. And I think you're going to find it interesting. And what these empires have in common is the foundation of Islam as their religion. Both empires are also extremely religiously, they're pretty tolerant towards other religions, and that's how we kind of see some kind of modern parallels here maybe of what's happening in the world today. If people could be very tolerant in the 1500s, 1400s, should we be tolerant in the United States today, or should we be tolerant in our worldview? So it kind of gives you some things to think about, and some things that might kind of surprise you that happened in both of these empires. Both of these empires are extremely interesting, and I think you're going to learn a lot by reading about them and listening to the different podcasts that I have on there. The most famous ruler for the Ottoman Empire was a man named Suleiman, and he becomes known as Suleiman the Great. And he kind of is like Napoleon in that he establishes this code of laws that kind of codifies the rules and regulations for Turkey, or what becomes modern-day Turkey. He also has a set of military leaders known as the Janissaries, which are there to protect and serve him, which are really interesting. There's some information about them this week. And I think you're going to really be excited about learning about a different part of the world. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'll see you guys literally or hear you guys on Thursday, September 8th at 7:30 p.m. And if you have anything that pops up in between now and then, please shoot me an email, or of course you can always text me. And I hope you've enjoyed your first week, and I look forward to working with you and reading your papers that are coming in this week and last week. Have a great one, guys.